time, which can mean one and only thing. This is Chip Chat. Welcome to Chip Chat. I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yes, it's so happy to be back. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like, obviously, I neglect the show every week that I'm on, but I've neglected it more by not being here.
Yeah,
So,
but you're back.
and I'm back.
How does that feel?
It feels good to, you know, obviously talking to a microphone and hang out with you guys. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe, are there too many opinions out here?
I don't know, but
Have we got, I'm not allowed to say
I
that.
think right before we went on the air, you were very close to describing the way I feel about like this week, and I was trying to explain to Brian like I'm all discombobulated. My time scale is off. I was unfortunately spent the weekend in the hospital. The baby was back in the hospital with RSV, so go get your shots and all that stuff.
It's ravaging like across again. It's
if you've got children, you've got RSV right now. We both have RSV.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. And then it was Halloween, and like my whole schedule, I was off Monday. I did 5 weddings on Monday.
Gee, wow.
That's ties my record. And then I did a wedding on Tuesday on Halloween at a prison, which we were just talking about off air. That was very disturbing.
Former prison.
Still a prison.
Yeah.
Just isn't operating
The
as such now.
watchtower is there, so yeah.
And the walls and everything else. And so like on top of everything else that's going on in the world. And I think just a few seconds ago, you were about to accurately describe how we are both feeling, which is fuck.
Yeah, that is yes. They're just
everything.
It's a lot. And you know, anybody who's having difficulties like I don't know, like just digesting the amount of information, the type of information, news, events that's happened, you know, it's okay to just kind of, I don't know, whatever you do to relax or, you know, allow your mind to like drift. Because, you know, we're just in it so much. I mean, I feel like I do a good job of like
I have to
detaching,
actively
which is
work
drinking.
at compartmentalizing it. No, I mean, I have to.
Right.
No, I've got a solution.
Yeah.
Cheers, sir.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Welcome to the millennial solution to all of our problems.
Yeah, and it's not like we're in a town that there's the way people socialize is drinking.
Yeah, but it's also a town where you can't really escape the news.
Oh no,
at all.
It's it's
just not a possibility.
From the giant to the corner, to doesn't matter who they are. Everybody
can't tune it out.
Yeah,
and you know, as we emphasize very heavily, that the rest of the world affects Washington D.C. in ways that it does not affect Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah,
you know, people in other places have local issues. We don't. We have only national and bigger than that issues. That's it. And so the pressure and the way it feels these days, I work hard on this with my therapist. I've set up very specific rules about, like, for myself, I will only look at the news in the morning. I'm trying to avoid it through the rest of the day. And I have reduced most of my consumption to print only.
There we go. Yeah, I was just about to say, I think
I won't look at video.
Yeah, video. I'm good on that, but I let me not discourage that because I know that's the medium that most. I don't know that the future generation, like, right, they're going to be the ones, they consume a lot of video, but I think now
they consume a lot of audio too. Though.
That's true, they do a lot of audio, but I think right now more than ever, you got to be real, like, specific and almost kind of like picking and I'm not saying curate like an echo chamber of your news sources, but I feel like. Even though everyone makes mistakes, no matter like whether it's the paper of record or, you know, some like, again, Joe Schmo who's reporting the news. I mean, there are certain outlets that are reputable and trustworthy. And when they make mistakes, they usually go ahead and come out with that. And I think folks should go and search for that. Yeah. And then also, I think you should bring in another one of those that maybe is not from the same viewpoint, just to kind of like, I'm not saying to like listen to lies, but there are other viewpoints that, I mean, they're just stating their, and just to be able to like, what you're bringing in, what are you able to contrast that with? Like,
yeah, it helps to broaden and it helps to also ground you. But yeah, basically to your point, it would behoove everybody right now to try to stick to the big outlets It's a good idea.
And I know that like they're gonna say, well, corporate media, and I'm like, all right, yes.
Yes, and
right.
There's a level of vetting that takes place. So stick to the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal.
Yes,
even,
maybe stay out the op-eds, but the
stay
actual
out the op-eds, but read the actual paper.
Yeah.
Okay. Stick to the when we say the paper, we mean the Post. Read the paper, the Times. Stick to the big news organizations, NPR, ABC, BBC, Reuters.
Yes.
Al Jazeera. If you want to get if you want the international, but stick to the big ones that have advertisers they have to respond to,
and general counsels that are like, yo,
and actually print retractions.
We're not messing around with getting sued. So the lawyers look through these things.
Yeah, don't go with sources that are guy on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean,
don't go with sources that have $800 million lawsuits hanging over their heads because they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Even like reputable, like Malcolm Nance, right?
Right.
I like to follow him on Twitter. Interesting guy, wonderful career, writes all kinds of stuff. The dude's like in a fury right now. I'm not sure I can really like take everything he's saying at the rate that he's saying it.
Right. Yeah.
I'll
understand.
I'll take Nance filtered through one of the big news organizations. Like let's cool it, buddy. And it's everything. So with that being said, this is a special edition.
Yeah, of course. That wasn't that bad. It's only 8 minutes.
So we did have a guest this week. Steph Tolev was going to be here, but she had to bail because she got called up to the Tim and Eric show instead to be on there, mostly to promote Chip Chat. She said she was going to go and tell them about our show.
Okay. Hey, look, we'll take that.
She's already been here before, so, she's new to them. It's good. But she will be here in town in D.C. on November 10th at the Miracle Theater, so go. Tickets are still available, but not very many. When I checked this morning.
That.
So go get those tickets if you can be around in town. Also, speaking of things to go get, go vote for Tez. The Belties.
The Belt.
That's our award show. Is going to happen on December 2nd.
The Belties.
Yep. And now I can't really put my thumb on the scale or be involved because nominally I'm kind of running this network.
Yes.
I'm one of 3 people running the network. I probably do the least of the work. But in any case...
I know that.
It's not less than you. That's true. But it's certainly not enough. I fucked up even a bunch of things tonight. So, but anyway, go to the main websites. If you're watching us or listening to us on any of the other platforms, go to BeltwayRadioandBeyond.com.
Please.
You can vote for Tez.
Please.
You can also vote for Best New Show. Yeah. But definitely go vote. And you vote early, vote often. I'm not going to say how often you can vote. I happen to know, but you can vote. Go vote a lot.
Anybody who wants to make a bot, it's like
no, we got captures on it.
Oh, you got? Oh, never mind.
No, you can't do that.
We've
got the detection.
All right. Do it the old school way.
Yeah, go vote a lot by calling your friends and using various IPs.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Or you can ballot harvest. That's coming up later in the show. Okay. Also, we're gonna have list time rundown, Trump trial updates.
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, where does some? There's too much
hours of show.
Yeah, it's like there's too much coming out of the
paper
faucet.
has reduced this to coming out only on Mondays in this interactive story on the Post website.
That's kind of smart.
Yeah. So it's like, here's your updates for the week. This is what's gonna happen. If anything other than this happens, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Because it's a fire hose.
Yeah, it can't be this.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a Tez talk where I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions.
Yeah, of
this
course.
Is stuff I don't actually know anything about. We need to know. And we have a new segment this week in which Brian the White Man is going to take us to Brian's Porn Corner and teach us about porn. Yeah.
There it is.
It's going to be a wild show, I can say.
Oh, my God. I was about to change. I had a word, and I'm like, should I change it? Because we have a new segment.
Oh. Well, yeah, I've got...
Yeah, now I have to change it. Damn.
Oh, it's going to be porn themed?
I mean, but no one knows, but I'm just saying. Okay. Right? I had a good one. Now I'm like, all right, got to change it.
All right. Well, I've got a word. I don't think it's a good word, but we're going to...
We're going to just roll with it like we've done for a long time.
All right. There's going to be more stuff that people don't even know about. It's coming up in the show. I don't even know about it.
Exactly. I haven't read it, obviously.
I didn't read this either.
You wrote it, though.
Some idiot just handed it to me and said, do this show.
Good job.
Yeah, whoever that was. Okay. So you got your word?
Yes.
All right. So sit back, grab some.
Street balls.
It's tunnel time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping out?
All right, so now it's time for list time. This is a very special list time.
I saw this. You're gonna have a lot of. This will be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah. So here's the headline here: former Vice President Mike Pence on Saturday dropped his bid for the Republican presidential nomination, ending his campaign for the White House after struggling to raise money and gain traction in the polls. He said, "quote." Actually, this isn't enough of the.
This isn't. Quote. It was too good. It was too good.
He was in front of the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual gathering. Heavy pause on that. Don't know what that means, but
they do this. You know, that's what they do. You know,
yeah, I don't think it's a good place for us to be. Maybe don't hang anyway.
There's another guy there that
Yeah,
fine on both sides.
Yeah, there's a lot of torches maybe outside. So Pence begins by quoting either the Bible or the Byrds, depending on who you, or Bob Dylan, I guess. Anyway, he goes, the Bible tells us there's a time for everything under heaven. And then he said, it's become clear to me, this is not my time. It's like,
become clear to me.
Yeah. So after much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today. This is not what the people came to see, by the way. They actually came to see him.
And I would be like, yo, give me my money back.
Yeah. Why did he pay $50,000 to get in this joint?
And his fool just said, I'm done?
Yeah, well, he needs that money because he apparently loaned his own campaign $150,000.
Oh, God, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Because that's a really small amount of money.
Because exactly. I'm like, yo, was he able to fly out of here?
That was him.
He might not have had
a payroll or
plane,
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Staff is probably like left in Vegas. Was this in Vegas?
Yeah,
in Vegas.
Yes,
they
were left in Vegas. Win your way home.
Oh my God.
You better hit those slots in the airport. If you've never been to Vegas, there are slot machines in the airport.
As soon as you get off.
While you're waiting for your plane. You can
it is a debaucherous place that I love way too much.
And they have the smoking prisons in the Vegas airport too, which I think isn't it named after John McCain?
Oh wow!
No.
Oh, he sullied his name.
McCarran. Okay, no, yeah. Anyway, so interesting, but that's not really what happened. You see, Mike Pence dropped out. That part's true, but we and our crack reporting team,
they always found the
real reasons that Mike Pence dropped out. Okay, you want to get the first one?
Yeah, I'll get the first one. All right. This is one of the reasons. First reason that Mike Pence dropped out was mother was upset about all the everything.
Yeah, she was upset about all the everything.
Everything.
This is not good. Mother was like, why are you there? And there are women somewhere in the audience, and I don't like that.
And I like Donald Trump.
She likes Donald Trump. Yes. Mother does like Donald Trump. Yeah. I'll tell you about that later. Okay. Number two. It turns out that the fly from the debate was a terrible campaign manager. I don't know why he picked him to run the show, but yeah. Crack reporting team's really doing good work here.
That one made me laugh.
Yeah.
That's just so stupid.
All right, you get number three.
Number three, oh God. Was tired of hanging around.
Yes. No bell for that one? Yes, give him the bell. Yes. He was hanging around.
And then Tim Scott said, hey, I want to do that job.
Yeah. That's a little on the nose.
Crazy.
Wait, he wants to do the VP or the hanging around job?
I'll let that.
That's what I'm a little worried about.
Interpret that
Tim,
as you.
for the love of God,
Yo,
dude,
please.
I know you and I don't agree on nearly anything, but for your own safety, just don't go near these guys. Buddy, please.
Yeah.
Just being gay and black in front of the MAGA crowd has got to be a rough spot to be in.
What are you reporting here?
I'm not reporting anything.
That is
I'm echoing things.
reckless speculation.
Not. You don't know that. He has a girlfriend.
Man.
She's from Canada. You don't know her. She goes to a different school.
Hey, look.
All right. He dropped out because he was. This was specifically for you. He's pence wise and pound foolish.
Ah, that's good. I like
See?
that one.
Is that right? Did I get it right?
Hey,
You guys use pences instead of pennies?
Yes.
Yes. And,
That's good.
yeah.
Pound.
Yeah.
I like
He's
that
not
a lot.
penny wise, pound fool. He's pence wise and pound
Pence
fool.
wise. That's really.
I'm proud of myself.
That's
for that one.
really good. Yeah.
I mean, of our reporting team. I was proud of our
Yes, there
reporting
you go. He can't help himself.
Yeah.
I
I cannot.
Number 5. Had to clear the calendar to spend all next year testifying against Trump.
That's true.
That could be. I don't know. That could. It's plausible.
Mike Pence, the next host on MSNBC. He's gonna spill everything. The guy can make millions. He could have a book every couple months called like Guess What Else Happened?
And then maybe
Volume 4.
And then maybe he'll earn enough money to actually put up.
Then he can pay off his loan on
or
his campaign.
Presidential campaign.
Yeah. And what was the Meadows book called? Like something about like setting the record straight or whatever.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. So like Pence could be like, but Pence's book titles would be really, really dry.
I hung out too long.
Yeah. It would just be called like Things That Happened, Volume 1. And well, as I entered the White House on our first day, Mother looked at me and said, "You know, Mike, this is the White House." And I said, "You know, Mother, you're right. This is the White House." 69 more pages later. Yeah. All right, number 6.
Oh, God.
JFK Jr. needed the slot.
Plus, I'm not. That
You don't know that's not happening.
That goes right.
Could be happening.
You know, maybe. I don't know. Look.
All right, and the last thing on the list,
one.
you get the last one.
Oh, God. Number 7, found out Ben Carson was drawing bigger crowds.
That's true.
Hey,
He's out on the road with Trump.
of course he is.
Do you know that?
Damn it, man. You know, they talked about this guy was.
Remember, he was
lifted-
Cuba Gooding Jr.
lifted up. And
There was a
everybody-
movie with a made about him that won Oscars, and he saved lives.
Yeah, like, and you can't
In
take
Baltimore.
That. You can't take that away. But
Yeah, well,
I mean, can't take the lives he saved.
no, I know, but
But-
is his legacy going to be
No.
the magic hands, or is it going to be that he fell asleep while explaining that slavery was a choice, and the $47,000 dining room table or whatever? Yeah, I mean,
No, if you can use
They were
the ladder.
immigrants.
Yeah, you know.
they're just immigrants.
I mean, McGraw-Hill was telling them that.
Yeah,
They've been saying that.
it's in Florida.
Yeah. See you soon.
All right, so there you go. That's our list time.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go to Florida.
Yeah, so the NAACP tells me.
Yeah, it's not safe. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have some updates about the conflict going on and all of that, and then some more things. It's going to be a great show. I promise. It will still be funny. We're going to have a brief interlude.
Not next, though.
Maybe they're not. The
Right,
next
right,
segment
the
is
next
not
segment
funny.
is not going to be funny.
But it
we
is
just
important.
got the laughs out. Exactly.
Yeah,
all right?
we got to make fun of Mike Pence and Ben Carson at once.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's your giggle for now.
Yeah.
Hold on to that.
Yeah,
You're going to need it.
exactly. Yes.
All right, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Walau padu kami やがて意味を失うんだろう殴りもしむ間もないバンバに色彩を委ねて
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin', yeah?
All right, so if you're trying to watch us on Facebook, we'll be back later.
Yeah, sorry.
We're having some technical issues. We got zucked. It's true.
What the zuck?
What the zuck? Okay.
This shit sucks. I mean, zucks. Damn
Yeah.
it. Fucked it. Butchered it.
You got close.
I got close. Look, man. It's going to be a, what do you call it? What was it? When I was coming up here, I was like, this show is going to be a two-system party type of night.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be that. All right, so with that being said, one of the things that Zuck and I do have in common is that we are both Jewish.
Transition?
So, nice transition.
Okay.
So which means it's
Okay.
time to talk about Israel.
Hey!
Okay, there are some updates about what's going on here, but it's important to note that when we talked about this, 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
I was very sad and despondent about it, and I predicted that there would be 10,000 Palestinians killed in short order. We are very close to that number if we have not actually surpassed that, so hooray, got it right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still sad and despondent about it, and another thing that I sort of explained is like how these things usually go, which is for at least a while, the Israelis are allowed by the rest of the world, allowed isn't the right word, but, not discouraged,
Right.
and basically go full force and try to do as much damage as they can quickly before the rest of the world loses their appetite for this level of destruction and goes, hey, why don't you cool it for a little while? That has also started to come to pass.
Yeah.
And even the Americans are leaning on them and saying, hey, guys, you gotta cool it. You're killing too many civilians.
I mean, they even had to retract Biden's statement when the woman interrupted. Like, the White House had to come out immediately and Biden is one to go where.
When Joe Biden says that, that's what Joe Biden means, right?
We know, because again, and it's very. I find that I haven't seen a response from Jewish Americans like this. I think to the point where it's
a different time.
This is different. It's different, and I that's something that and again, y'all tribe. I've been around since I've been grade school. Slept in folks' homes and so, and things have happened, and I remember responses to it being a lot different than what you see now. Where again, the woman who spoke out,
she was a rabbi.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. That's something that's different. That's different.
I am different.
Yes,
this is not how I have looked at these things in the past. even the most recent events in Gaza, I basically was like of the mind that, look, Hamas knew what was coming if they did this shit, and it's on them. And I'm going to say, there's a lot of bad.
Yes.
It's still true.
That's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
And when they put their command centers under hospitals or under schools, they know exactly what they're doing. They know that they're going to get bombed because that's even a legitimate military target like a command center. They know that, and they know that they're going to get the rest of the world is going to see that the Israelis bombed a hospital. And it depends at which week in the war that happens, whether people will tolerate it or whether they won't. And we're fading into the part where the rest of the world stops telling Israel, do whatever you want, and starts pretending to tell them to put on the brakes.
You said,
but they don't really mean that.
Yeah, you said that there. Yeah, that is the.
So here's some of the updates. Some dual nationals and seriously injured people got out through the Rafah crossing today. More are expected to get out tomorrow.
It's positive news.
Herculean effort by the diplomats who are working on this. That's the Americans and the Qataris have been spearheading this, and they're working with the Egyptians and all of this. Point of information, Egypt is dead set on not letting a bunch of refugees into the Sinai. And there are a lot of reasons. One is they think that those are dirty Palestinians and they don't want them in their country and they don't want to care for them. That's number one. Right. Number two, Egypt doesn't want to become Lebanon. If the Palestinians were forced out of Gaza and into the Sinai, they still would be mad about Israel doing that, and they would still be trying to attack Israel in the same way that Hezbollah is attacking Israel from southern Lebanon. And the same way that Israel deals with Hezbollah attacking is invading Lebanon periodically, sometimes for 20 years at a time.
Right.
Egypt doesn't want that. No. And also, Egypt has a peace treaty with Israel. So does Jordan, but they recalled their ambassador today.
Yeah. Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
World opinion is shifting. Like we talked about, important point on that, Israel doesn't give a shit.
Also, too, it doesn't matter what the world opinion is shifting. I think it's clear and plain. Like the United States government, because it's bigger than and it is sad because it's bigger than all it's bigger than the people that are dying. It's bigger than there is more of after World War II. There's more of a philosophical type of the way and Biden has been like this from the beginning.
From the beginning.
This is always I'm talking about from the beginning of him in government.
From 1973 or whatever, when he first gets elected.
Because again, this is just this and it makes sense because after the World War II, we're not trying to have that anymore. And this is what America looks at to say, hey, you know what? Nah, this is and it's just one piece of that. The state of Israel is one piece of that. And also as when it was a little more democratic, I will say, it's a democracy. I mean, under the last few years, maybe not so much, but that is always going to stand before because we went through a Cold War. We saw who won. We're going to sit here. We're going to promote democracies, okay?
I got to be honest about this. I think the American attachment to Israel as the lone democracy in the region is a front.
Yeah, but hey,
that's not what we're into there.
Yeah, okay, yes, of course.
Yes, it's a democracy, and yes, we want to keep it that way, and all of that kind of stuff.
It's in a strategic location.
And it's sort of Western oriented.
Yeah.
And I got it. I keep having to remind people about this. Okay. Let me talk to my fellow tribesmen for a minute.
Please.
Guys, I don't know why they're into us like that, but it's a weird fetish, okay? The evangelicals really like us in a way that is not okay or safe for us. It's not that.
Yo!
It's not. It's not good. But they are into us, and they have always been. And so, when they're talking about, well, we've got to support a democracy in the Middle East. No, what they're trying to do is support what they think of as the Jewish state, which they will hopefully eventually crush and turn into, convert or die state. The democracy aspect is, for them, a convenient front.
Yeah, look.
For us,
isn't democracy a convenient front?
For a lot of things. For us, we've been perfectly willing to sort of ride this because we're pretty sure that, like, when they do eventually flip the switch and come ready for their Armageddon, we're just going to be like, fuck off, Christians. And it's just going to go away. I don't think that's actually how that's going to go. I think we need to be a lot more worried about them than we are, and I don't think it's okay to be friends with them. I think they're very dangerous people. So, just
putting that out there.
Take the yarmulkes off. All right, everybody's back. Now, the Republicans, who are those evangelical right-wing crazies, they showed exactly who they are this week when they finally got a speaker in place, and their opportunity to throw a bunch of money Israel's way. Instead of jumping at that, which is, I thought the reason they wanted a speaker was so they could grandstand about Israel. They're like, well, we want to send money to Israel, but only if we can take it from the IRS and crash the federal budget while we do it.
Yo, look, it just kind of need the IRS to get back to doing what it used to do.
The IRS is one of the few federal agencies that is like fiscally solvent and self-funding, and in some cases turns a profit. Mostly because it needs the staff and the money to do the job to collect the taxes. With the
Which
Republicans,
we could fix some things with, like, it could be a decent amount of things fixed.
It could be. We could, if you want it, if you do care a lot about that debt that they're always going on about,
God.
Defunding the IRS actually increases the debt. And everybody knows that.
Yeah.
There's nobody who thinks that this is not how that works. And if they do, they're fucking morons. And also the CBO was like, no. Idiots. That's not how that math works. They've kind of backed off of that, by the way. I think it turns out that they found that there wasn't a lot of appetite for it. But
taxes
here nor there.
And taxes are going to have to be raised. Like,
well, yeah.
Like, what are we doing? But
let's collect the ones that were owed first,
yeah.
And let's collect them from the fucking rich people.
Because again, they were allowed to use the government to become rich. I know you guys don't like to hear that, but that's what you do.
But they were.
That's what you do.
And they were allowed by Trump to use the government to get richer.
That one, that
the 2017 tax law.
You think those Bush ones was bad?
Oh my God,
that one is insane.
It's insane, and it's about to expire. Yeah. Just so everybody's ready for that. That's going to fuck up a lot of people's books. Okay, so there's that. In the West Bank, which is not Gaza,
Jesus,
just so that everybody knows that there's two halves of Palestine with Israel in the middle. When we say we live in a hostile neighborhood, that's what we're talking about, and somewhat of our own making. But exactly to that point, the settlers, these ultra-Orthodox idiots, are running around the West Bank murdering Palestinians and getting away with it because the army's helping them do it. It's been hundreds of people they've killed.
Yo, when I say, like, and I don't know, is this rage killing? I mean,
yes.
Like, okay, this is...
Some of it rage killing. Some of it is we've been waiting for any opportunity to go and do this. Some of this is just plain out-and-out racism, and some of it is just like snatching people's shit. They're literally running people out of villages and taking their land. Not unlike, I don't know, a pogrom, which we may or may not have some experience with.
Right. I just... Trying to compartmentalize that, I can only imagine for
it's not working well.
But I'm just sitting like outside of it. Again, the only thing I can look to and see, like, and again, it's not a full comparison. Again, is like people who left Fidel Castro and went to Miami and then started doing things like Fidel Castro. And it's very like even there, I'm just like, wait, what did you?
So Bibi behaving like a fascist is weird, and deeply unsettling. These guys behaving like the Russians and pogroming Palestinians is deeply unsettling and very weird. It is not okay. This whole thing is bad. Yeah. It's all bad. And now, okay, so you've heard me talk about like how these ultra-Orthodox Haredi guys basically caused this war, which they do all the time. A few of them finally got enough courage to go sign up and join the army. Because as most people know,
they don't have to.
Everybody in Israel, except the ultra-Orthodox, has to serve. But they don't, because for whatever reason, the rest of the country is convinced that their fervent prayers are as valuable as tanks.
I'm telling you, yo, these stories are strong.
That's some wild
It's
shit.
strong.
Isn't it?
I'm telling you, stories that we tell as human beings are so strong. Because that's some strong shit to be like in this day and age. Like,
I know we need people, but I would rather some of them do praying instead of like fighting.
That's against the whole human spirit.
That's very weird.
Anti-human, animal. It's anti, like.
You imagine if like back our ancestors were like, yo, there's a saber-toothed tiger coming. Jim, quick, go pray. Not like get the pointy stick.
Yo.
Go pray.
But then
We'll handle the pointy stick. You pray to the thing you drew on the wall.
But then eventually that happened.
That
Like
is
later
exactly what's
down
happening.
the road, like after we be like, yeah, we're like,
Well, and when
we've
you and I
conquered-
killed the tiger
we're conquered
and
that.
Jim was praying,
Yo.
they're going to be like, yo, it was because Jim was praying.
And then the eclipse might have happened at the
yeah,
same
and
time,
then
and
now
it's
we're
like,
all
oh
convinced
shit,
that that's
Yo.
what did it. It
And
wasn't
when-
the sharp sticks. It was definitely Jim praying to the wall. Okay, so that's all going on. We now have this situation where you've got two groups of people who know exactly what's about to happen, who know what is happening now,
Yeah.
and the Israelis know that the more destruction and damage they cause in Gaza and the more people they kill, the more Hamas grows. The ability, there is no finite thing called Hamas. Hamas is an idea. Every time you bomb a
God
city,
forbid it turns into something else though.
well, it is already
Yeah.
a political entity.
Yeah.
It is already a financial entity. It is already all of these things. It is an operational government, for lack of a better understanding.
Yeah, but I think outside like of the ones who, a lot of them who are not in Gaza currently, the leadership, like I mean, they're about to
There
raise
are Hamas chapters outside of Gaza.
it. Yeah, but I'm saying they're gonna raise. They're gonna raise this, right? It's gonna be done. Like it's gonna be raised, and something happens after that. And,
Yes, so
and is it like you let those, like I don't know, after that seems to be. I think obviously Hamas is still going to be around, but in Gaza, this seems to be like, I'm not going to say it's the end of all, but like it feels like something different is going to emerge from this. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, that is exactly what Bibi is counting on. He wants a different. He said
He will
we're
not
gonna
be.
shift
It'll
the
be
map.
different as well too, because he will not be there at the end of this.
Yeah,
At the end of this, no way in hell.
no. I don't think he will either. But my point here is that this idea that you can, through violence, destroy Hamas is lunacy, and I don't think anybody in the Israeli leadership actually believes this. They're doing this out of anger and revenge and fear. But there is no amount of bombing or killing that will make Hamas die, because every time you kill 1,000 more people, all of them have relatives who are now deeply aggrieved, and no matter what real sense or understanding or nuance they might have been able to possess prior to that, it's all fucking gone, and they just want to fight. So that's one. The Israelis know exactly how ineffective this is towards their end goal. The second thing is Hamas knows exactly how ineffective lobbing rockets at or kidnapping Israelis or killing babies. They know exactly how ineffective that is, because it is not going to make the Israelis just pack up their shit and leave. It is going to make them come back and kill a bunch of civilians.
So then,
4,000 children. I mean that's an insane number. Is it fair to say that some of those children are dead and blame Hamas for it? Yes. Hamas did kill those children because they provoked an unreasonable, angry military with an unlimited supply of ordnance to attack them. That is very true. Does anybody think the Israelis were just going to be like, you know what? We could completely smush you guys, but you know what? We're not going to, because we want to look like the bigger men this time. They tried that for 15 years and just kept building a higher fence. And then look at what happened. There's nothing here.
Also, too, but you hear, but like even as well too, like I was just listening that the defense ministries have warned that this ultra right push, because what does BB care about? Power and staying in power. It's the only thing he's always cared about.
Right.
And like they were saying, like, yo, I don't think like the way we are moving with this, this is not making any friends like this. I get you presided over peace for a decent amount of time. People have thought and peace in the sense
I wouldn't call it peace.
But it's peace in the sense
containment.
And containment, but like comparative to his like predecessors, because again, I think also too, he's not really like a wartime person. Like I don't think he's not that.
BB's not a fighter.
He's not a fighter. So I think, right? But
he's a bit of a wuss.
Yeah, I mean,
he is.
He's like,
you know what he's accused of? Getting champagne and cigars from political donors. That's his big crime.
Having the media bolster his.
And paying for puff pieces in the newspapers.
Yeah, but I mean, again, your defense ministry tells you this, and you kind of go straight with that. But then, like, you weaken this constitution and the judicial, like, you do all these other things alongside upsetting your own people. Like your own people there. And then now your legacy is this. It is that is what it is. And it can be that you flattened Gaza, right? That could be it too, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be that you let 1,400 Israelis die. That is what it's going to always be. And that's your legacy.
In the same way that Golda Meir never was able to live down the surprise attack of the Yom Kippur War in 1973, even though that was not her fault. And she did preside over a successful war to capture 3 times the size of the land or whatever. All anybody ever called her on was like, oh, well, she let the attack happen.
That's all it's going to be. There's no way he escapes that. And I think it
all kind of merges together. Bibi presided over the greatest failure of intelligence in the military in the history of Israel.
And put out a tweet and then deleted it.
Yeah, and
Christ.
killed 100,000 Palestinians in response to that. And
I think the 1,400 on that day is always going to live, and it's staying. I don't know, saying his legacy is kind of crazy, but
it's going to be in the first paragraph.
It's going to be the first one. It's going to be the first one in there. And again, he doesn't survive this. So then I ask, in Israel, what happens next, right? When there's a new premier, what is the process? And I do think like what again is as I'm trying to understand this myself, and like again the book I'm reading is post-war, because I want to know what are like exactly post-war Europe, right? What happens? Like, do you like two-state solution, which we know neither of those sides, right? And that's what I'm saying. Hamas can't exist for there to be what it seems like the world. And when I say can't exist, it can't exist in a Palestinian state. Like, and how does that happen? You have to bring in
development and resources.
But I'm saying you have to bring in the UN, whoever the body, and I don't know if we even do this anymore as the globe, whatever the body is, which the only body can be is the UN.
There's blue helmets in Kosovo still.
Yeah.
I mean, it is doable.
Yeah, it's doable. Yeah. So, like, do you bring in and be like, all right, we committed to this two-state solution?
Who's gonna bring in those? Who's gonna contribute to that blue helmet force? You think the Europeans are gonna do it? Not a chance. You think the global South, who provides most of the troops for all of these UN things, wants to go in and keep peace with Israel? Not a chance.
But I think if you get a specific Israeli, like if you can get coalition government that believes in that, and I mean. I think there are Israeli citizens who are like, yo, the Palestinians and them having their own state is what's going to keep us safe. I think there is a subset there.
It's called labor, and they are, basically half the population, and they actually won the most recent election. They just couldn't form a government.
And we know it's fucking parliamentary system, which again, I get it. It's tricky, man. Like, but yo, exactly.
But you have to. You're getting to this thing, which is really the two-state solution might not actually be an option. And what might need to happen is a pluralistic, secular, single state in which everybody has.
But that's hard for both.
Well, all of these. So hard. It's hard for everybody.
Secular in that region of the world?
Yeah.
What? You know the stories that come. Like again, what are we talking? Like that's insane.
Turkey was that for a long time.
Yeah.
And look, I know all of these are big asks.
They're big,
they're like intractably impossible. But keep in mind that the status quo, or even whatever direction we're going, also leads to nowhere.
Can't be. We've been doing it,
We've
right?
been doing the same thing over and over. The Palestinians are not going to accept, fundamentally, they are not going to accept the dominance of a Jewish state ruling their lives in the way that Israel has, whether it's in the occupied territories or within Israel itself. They are not going to accept that. I wouldn't accept that.
Right.
Okay. Israel is not currently in a position to accept a pluralistic state in which Jewish people might not always be the majority.
Right.
They're not willing to accept that. And they've got all the weapons.
Yeah.
Because we, the United States, give them all the weapons. $3 billion a year we give them without any questions.
Imagine, just not to like go, but like, imagine leaving 20 years of Afghanistan as a defensive contractor and being like, well, damn, y'all, we had a good run. And then, bang, Ukraine happens. Bang, this happens. And they're like, we back, y'all. Yo, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they like, we are back.
Yeah.
We are back. Yo, let's load up the Brinks truck and bring it to our parking lot. That is like the fact that, wow. Just, again, because this shit is big money too.
And for all the conspiracy nuts out there, don't think that the defense contractors had to lean on anybody to make this happen. They just needed to sit around and wait for it to happen.
They know how. They know what goes on.
It's not that there's some sort of sneaky plan to like foment wars to sell bombs.
They just know.
They just know that there's a bunch of people who hate each other who happen to live right next to each other. And just wait till they get on to it, and then they're gonna have a fight, and then they're gonna sell bombs. A 20-year
run in Afghanistan is a long run. You think they think their bellies would be full? That's a joke.
What?
I'm just joking. That's a very terrible joke.
You think they wanted to stop making money?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
I didn't say.
Yeah.
I don't know. A secular state just seems like what I'm with, but who and like what allied forces come in to do that?
So a million years ago, one of my friends proposed to me the idea of knocking over all of the government in the Holy Land and replacing it with a theme park called Holy Land Land.
For tourism?
Yeah.
Hey,
and you just tell everybody, yes,
oh my God.
Just tell everybody to fucking cool it and stop bombing each other, and everybody will work in what is essentially a giant Disney version of the Holy Land. And people from all three big religions would just flock there, drop off their money, and leave. And you want to know what international force would cause peace to happen? Green dollars. None of those pink dollars. No. Green dollars. Yeah. Money. If everybody's fat and happy, they all cool it.
Yo,
and he wasn't wrong about that idea.
Insane idea, but I'm kind of
Shout out to Rich if you're listening. It's a brilliant idea.
All these evangelicals would be over there.
They would be over there in a minute. They're already building fake arks in Kentucky.
The water is coming, but
but maybe not all the way to Kentucky. But yeah, but they're building that. I mean, there's one downtown. You've seen it, right?
Yes, I've seen.
So, like, those idiots would definitely pay a lot of money to go walk around where they think Jesus walked around or whatever. And the Arabs could get some of that money, and my people could get some of that money, and we could all have enough money to, like, take vacations in Italy or whatever.
Oh, God, that sounds...
And not need to worry about this shit.
Yo,
maybe. You're like, oh, yeah, remember when we used to bomb each other? That was fucking dumb.
That would be so great if
you
eventually...
Like blowing your noses with $100 bills, talking about war was not a very good way to make money.
Yo.
But you know what is? Churros.
Churros.
Just sell churros to tourists in the Holy Land.
Holy Land.
Yeah. It's a brilliant idea.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, Rich proposed this idea to me something like 20 years ago in like the beginning of the second Intifada. And he was like, if they just cool it for a while, they could make a lot of money.
I can't believe I'm laughing at the end of the segment.
It's a pretty good idea.
That's a really good idea. Holy Land. Okay.
To make Ron DeSantis the governor.
Yeah.
Because he loves theme parks.
Oh, God. He's running right in the ground.
Yeah.
They're so woke.
They're so woke, they let everybody come and drop off their money. Even the gay ones.
Oh, exactly. Come on. Shit. Yo.
Who wants money? I like money. You like money? Brian, you like money? Everybody likes money.
Yeah.
Or at least the things that money affords you.
Yes.
Look at the desperate poverty in Gaza and the West Bank. You know what could solve that? Steady stream of tourist buses.
Yo. Holy
Money's
Land
in
Land.
Holy
I
Land
like
Land.
Holy Land Land.
What's the population of Middle America?
Huh,
Several million?
Yeah.
Several hundred million?
You could have charters.
These guys would be around the clock. The flights would just be landing at Ben Gurion like all day. It'd be like the Berlin airlift, but full of white people. And just
Yo.
instead of dropping off food, they'd just be dropping off, guys with a Mike Johnson haircut.
Yo.
They'd
Yo,
just
and
be
do
showing
some
up.
installments in the airport like Vegas does with the
Yeah,
freaking.
you can. There's like instead of slot machines, there's like a fake wailing wall where they can all go and like pull the lever and put a note in, and
Yo.
it'll be great, right?
This is
You got
ingenious.
sprinklers full of holy water.
Yo.
It's all there. You can have mountains on tracks that move, and you could just pretend, like, hey, I moved that whole mountain. Look at that.
Yeah. That,
Glass lakes that people could walk on and pretend they were walking on the water. Carpentry shops everywhere.
enough. We got given
So
too
much
many
fried
ideas.
fish. It'd be so delicious.
Yo,
Right?
Holy Land.
Solution.
I am fully in on this.
So, Tony Blinken, give me a call.
Yo, yeah.
We can work this out. I'll sell you the idea for, season ticket
Season
to
ticket.
Holy Land.
Season
Pass
pass.
to Holy Land.
No.
Or a holy pass.
Oh,
Right.
Hey,
The marketing does itself.
Yo, if he goes into this friggin' to the press in the state
You
room,
could have a roller coaster that rides along the Golan Heights. It's already built
good to
for it.
go.
It's perfect.
we gotta negotiate some things
The
over there.
log flume goes down the hill in Carmel. It's all there.
We're gonna negotiate
Sunbathing on
some
the
shit with
on
the
the
Syrians
Dead
first,
Sea.
when we can do that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just look. Everybody stop.
Everybody chill out.
Cease fire. Build churros.
Hey, this is great.
You ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yo, my God.
Right? It's not that
Only
hard.
thing, not that hard at all.
I could build Holy Land.
Yo,
I'm gonna
sketch
do
and
it.
mock
I'm gonna
it
go
up.
home and play. I got an old XP machine.
I was gonna
can
say,
still play.
first of all, what device do
I
you
have, I have an
that
XP
that
laptop.
will do it.
Yeah. that
I was
can
like, you're
play
gonna
it.
have to go find a compact or something to turn that freaking thing
My
on.
beater laptop still has a CD-ROM drive, so I can play.
Oh
it.
yeah, that definitely you
Yeah.
can get it on there.
And Windows 10 is backwards compatible, so I can do it.
Somehow we've made it to Holy Land and Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I was saving it.
Christ.
Told you I could bring it around. All
There
right,
it
here's
is.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna do the rundown and then a bunch of other stuff because this is nominally a comedy show. We've been at it for 8 years. Eventually, we'll get funny. I promise.
Trying.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
and get the fish oil.
So weird.
Get the fish oil. Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's Bobby?
And that was our favorite musical guest.
It's Turbo Force.
Turbo Force. Yeah.
Turn the frogs.
Somehow, my sister-in-law had not, experienced Alex Jones. She didn't know, who he was or, what the deal was. And so we showed her one of the videos, and she had the reaction to it, I think, that was similar to your first reaction.
Just what's
of
happening?
Wide eyes and utter confusion on her face. But then we got to the leftist ass one, and we were dancing.
That's the one.
And the baby was dancing. The baby likes that beat. It's a pretty good one.
It's
Turn of the Frogs gay.
I there was a 6-month period where I was singing that song in my house all the time.
It's a very groovy song.
Corn on the cob. I'm ready.
All right, speaking of ready, so now we've come to the part of the show that's called a rundown. This is where I tell you about some stuff that's gone on in the news. If we were professionals, it would sound something like this. Nope. Breaking news. We're not professionals. We don't know what we're
From
doing.
Beltway Radio and Beyond in Washington, D.C., I'm J. Scott Smith. And this is the part of the hour where I tell you some stuff that's going on in the news.
So that's our good friend J. Scott Smith. Shout out to him. He's the greatest anchor on television. We won him several Murrow Awards. The Chip Chat bump is real.
Right.
I'm not wrong about that. That's coming up later in the show. Okay.
Yeah.
So MAGA Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
That's his name now. That's everybody's calling him MAGA Mike. I don't like that. It's not good. It's a bad name. Look at him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if MAGA is the word for him. But
He's
anyway.
MAGA light.
Yeah. Yeah.
L-I-T-E.
He's right. Well, that is one of the allegations about him. Not about him, but about his loafers. I'm not saying, but there are various sex workers in the Louisiana area who are reporting that they have had relationships with him. Not unlike Lady G.
Bruh.
Which,
What's that?
not that there's anything wrong with that,
Right. The oldest profession, right?
but as we're going to talk about later, he's got a pretty strong anti-sex stance.
Yeah,
and
it's always them.
specifically an anti-gay stance.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's always them.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Exactly, but just it's okay to just be that. Don't
Yeah,
try to
if you're
take
gay,
away the
just,
right. I know. Or if you're dealing with something internally, go talk to somebody. Don't try to take everybody else's rights.
Yeah.
Shit. What's wrong with you?
I'm having a lot of feelings about this stuff with Michigan, which we're going to talk about later.
Oh God, yeah, there's a lot.
And I don't want to process that cleanly and safely right now. Also because my therapist is a Michigan State person, and I don't know that she can really listen to me properly. And
that might not be the place for you.
yeah, I don't think she can give me an honest. She can't handle that right now because she's gonna have to either put her fandom aside and do therapy on me. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No.
Or I'm gonna have to start interrogating the honest truth, and I'm not doing that.
There it is.
So that's the point. Instead, just fucking handle that on your own, man. Don't drag everybody else down with you.
Right.
Fucking Ohio. All right. Anyway, speaking of that, Russia bought Mike Johnson. Apparently,
No.
it turns out a Texas-based the American Ethane Company previously donated tens of thousands of dollars to the campaigns of Louisiana Republicans, including Mike Johnson, who was voted speaker. While American Ethane was run in 2018 by American John Hufftelling.
How telling? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a
How
tough
telling?
one. How telling? 88% of the firm was owned by 3 Russian nationals.
88%.
Yeah.
That's a majority.
That is more than a majority.
You didn't know.
That's a super majority.
Super majority.
Here's my favorite line in this, though. One of the men behind the company, Nikolaev, an oligarch with close ties to Putin, was also found to have financially backed Maria Butina.
Oh, she's back in the news.
She's back in the news, a Russian citizen who lived here in D.C. and was sentenced to 18 months in prison after admitting to acting as an unregistered foreign agent by being a girl who likes guns.
She like
You remember that? She showed up. I don't know if she actually did.
Well,
but
for
she was
the visual
for the honeypot trick. She was she would show up at NRA conventions and get these guys. She's not even that good looking.
They're idiots.
I mean, their bar is low,
super low.
but like come on, guys. Even Brian is barking up the Bobert instead of
that is so
Butina.
what the barking up the Bobert.
Yeah.
Is just disgusting and very funny at the same time.
So on Halloween,
Yeah.
we're walking the neighborhood, and one of the neighbors has set up a haunted house. He does it every year. It's very cool. And there he is outside of it, but he's dressed as Beetlejuice. And the first thought I had is, oh my God, I better not go in there. Lauren Boebert might be in there.
Of course.
And I was afraid.
You should be.
Yeah, quite.
Don't anyway, catch a stray.
Yeah. Stray Boebert.
Ugh.
All right.
Calm down, Brian.
Yeah. He's going to get his corner. Don't worry. All right. Another thing that happened this week, today, Eric testified. I don't know what he said. I'm sure it wasn't great. DJ TJ testified yesterday.
Yeah, he tried to shift blame.
Yeah, so DJ TJ was like, I know what a generally accepted accounting.
Should have worn makeup.
And the judge was like, do you? And he goes, yeah, they're principles that are generally accepted. And that was it. That is the extent of his accounting knowledge.
Good talk.
Yeah, good talk. So a bunch, he was asked, like, is this your signature on these documents? And they're like, he's like, yeah. And they're like, so you signed off that all this was, like, legit. Look at that sketch, by the way.
That is a good sketch.
Apparently, he, on his way out.
How do they make him still look like he's on cocaine?
Because he is. Apparently, on his way out, he was very interested in how he was drawn in the sketch. So he, like, went over to the sketch artist and was like, no, touch that up.
He's his daddy's son.
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, well, I did sign off on all this stuff. And they're like, well, so that means that you are accepting responsibility. That's what it says right here above your signature. And he goes, well, I didn't really look at this. And, my accountants did it and my business managers. And that's why, I just
worked on it. That's what we paid them to do.
Right.
After Donald Trump Jr.'s testimony, next on the stand, his brother.
All right,
The
cool.
lawyers are giving him some good, all right.
The reason there's a signature at the bottom.
That's for this.
Yeah, it's for this. It is exactly for this. That when the shit hits the fan, somebody has to take the fall. That's why you'll hear a lot of people say, well, I might go along with it, but I ain't signing that.
Exactly.
You know why I say I ain't signing that? Because this is exactly why. You don't want to sign it.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Here's my favorite.
Bye-bye to your business.
Favorite bit here. During his testimony, DJ TJ said he had no significant knowledge of the accounting standards known as generally accepted accounting principles. Evidence of the trial has shown that financial statements prepared by the Trump Organization and distributed to business partners between 2011 and 2021 did not comply with those rules. Quote, I have no understanding of accounting guidelines. That's what we have CPAs for, said Trump Jr. Interesting bit about this. We also learned this week that when Trump was trying to buy the Buffalo Bills, and they were like, all right.
Which could have saved all of us.
Could have.
This would have saved us all.
Here's why it didn't, though. They're like, do you have enough money to buy them?
Oh, one of these.
And he was like, yeah, for sure. I'm worth $8 billion. And they go, all right, do you have your financial statements that could show that? And instead, he passed out Forbes articles that listed him in the whatever thing that was all self-reported. So he didn't have a business plan.
As we know, too.
He didn't have financial statements. He had a Forbes article.
And you can't get into the NFL with a Forbes article. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, they need, there's so much.
This tells you that the NFL takes things more seriously than most voters.
Well, yeah.
What else is going on up there on Capitol Hill, Tez?
Oh, God.
Your favorite football coach.
Oh, God. Not Tuberville.
Tuberville.
They don't like to. They like to try to make it more fancy when some folks talk to them. They're like Tuberville. He's Tuberville when he's coaching Auburn and losing. He's Tuberville
and
when
Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss. And but he's Tuberville when he's fucking up the military.
Well, right now his name is Senator Friendless.
Oh yeah.
So here's what happened. Tommy Tuberville has been trying to dismantle the United States Army since he found out there is an army. And also the Marines and the Navy and the Air Force and all of the services.
He's equal opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think he knows about Space Force yet, but Pence didn't tell him. So Tuberville was like, how can I defeat the U.S. military? The British tried, failed. The Germans tried, they failed. The Germans tried again, and they failed.
Oh, don't forget about the
Japanese
the rebels failed too.
The Alabama tried and failed.
Exactly.
The only ones that have succeeded really has been the VC, basically.
Yeah.
So taking a page right out of their book, Tommy Tuberville, noted supporter of the Viet Cong, goes, I know how to torpedo this operation. I'm going to gum up the works by not allowing any confirmations to go through for all the officer corps. This went to an absolute extreme because the deputy or vice commandant of the Marines, this guy named General Eric Smith, he had a heart attack because he was doing his job and the vacant position of commandant's job and working 18-hour days.
This is not
for a year.
You want to talk about being...
And he ended up with a heart attack in the hospital. He's still not out, by the way.
You want to talk about being vulnerable with your military? We are it right now.
There are something like 300 positions that are in flux.
And let's just say this gets solved. We're 5 years of fixing this. Trying to get all the parts that need to move for this.
So normally what happens is the Senate approves these things in bulk.
Yeah. Because come on, how else are we going to do this?
Yeah, but there's no partisan aspect to this.
Yeah, it's all right, someone said, we agree on this promotion. And then the Senate, because again, Congress has to confirm this type of shit. All right, the subject matter experts agreed on it. We're just here to get reelected. Bang,
We're just here because the Constitution requires us to be here. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Exactly.
I mean, that's essentially the thing, right? But Tuberville was like, oh, no, this is an opportunity to, pick a fight about something that is not related, like whether people can get health care or not. So he's holding up these things. And it came to a head this week when a bunch of other Republican senators.
They said, F this shit.
Dan Sullivan of Alaska, Joni Ernst of Iowa, who is an Army veteran, I would point out, Todd Young of Indiana, and Lindsey Graham, who is also an Air Force JAG officer and loves the military. And let me talk to Lady G here for a second. You and I don't agree on a lot, but the readiness of the United States military, definitely with you there, buddy.
Yeah, we want to live.
Yeah, we want this. We like this. We like that the military exists. We like to be safe.
Thank you all.
Keep the Canadians on their side of the line. You know they're coming.
Well, yeah, okay.
They've already sent their damn geese over here.
They're here.
Those are their scouts. They're looking for our crumbs and bread, and then that's how they're going to get in. All right. So anyway, they were like, fuck this noise, approve everything. And they brought up batches of officers, and there sits Senator Friendless talking about, I object. And they got madder and madder through that. They kept the floor open, and eventually they started calling him names. The anger that had long been simmering over the issue burst forth in dramatic fashion as Sullivan and others criticized Tuberville's tactics. Quote, the key is you put a hold on someone who typically has some kind of control over the issue you're trying to fix, Sullivan said. Why are we putting holds on war heroes? It's not related to the thing you're mad about, that you're not even mad about.
Yeah.
So they called him, all the names. They said, we're going to stay here until our list is done. And so they started doing it one by one to make Tommy Tuberville sit there through the whole thing.
His quote is so stupid. Quote, we're not going to start backing up now just because people are starting to get cold feet on my side of the political aisle.
They weren't with you in the first place, you fucking moron. They're not interested in this. God. Nobody's interested in this. It's a dumb issue. You're going to lose on it politically, and it's also bad. Again, we've said it on here before.
Places like China laugh and be like, "Look at you and your democracy."
Yeah, stupid democracy.
Look who your people elected. Look at, and I'm sitting there like,
this is why you don't give people these options.
Exactly. He's saying,
this is why the Electoral College was created in the first place. We know that people are too stupid to make good decisions. We need to limit their decisions.
Obviously, because
we didn't have direct elections of senators.
Yeah, right. It's just
until fairly recently in the history of the United States. That was a constitutional amendment. They used to be appointed by governors because we were like, oh, maybe have some sense. This is stupid.
Not elected this man.
Like we've said before.
Gerrymandered.
If Khrushchev could have figured out what Gates and Tuberville have figured out now, we'd have lost the Cold War.
Easy.
Because they are crippling the United States in a way that the Russians never could. And Putin still hasn't figured out how to take advantage of this yet, but I'm sure Steve Bannon will tell him.
Right, exactly. Like, there you go. Exactly.
Speaking of Republicans doing things, ballot harvesting. Or as normal people would call it, voting. So you may remember that one of the things that the Republicans claim caused all the voter fraud and why the election was rigged and Trump really won is all this ballot harvesting, heavy air quotes on ballot harvesting, where they think that there are people who are offering to deliver ballots that are in sealed envelopes and go through the post office where many people deliver them, I should point out, are collecting them and changing them and then dropping them off. And they're like, well, this is obviously how they stole the election. Turns out, it's fine. They all want to do it too now. Jason Miyares, who is nominally the Attorney General of my great Commonwealth, was like, hey, we should do ballot harvesting too. And he checked the law and he goes, yeah, this is totally legal. And all the Democrats are like, yeah, you fucking idiot. It's always been legal. People transporting ballots that are sealed.
Yourself in the foot for friggin' 2 elections, like.
Yeah, who told them they could do it too? I thought they believed in like all of this weird shit that was helping us win.
It's the same kind of with mail-in votes, right?
Yeah, all of a sudden they're all into mail-in votes, early voting, and making voting easier because it turns out that's how you win elections.
I don't the way they're moving. I don't know if you choose to allow. Again, I know we need a 2-system party, but at the same time, if you choose to go and elect like obstructionists, what are you doing?
To all the right-wingers who listen to this show, of which there are literally millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you for finally embracing voting. Mike Johnson, big turnaround in his previously stated position. He now accepts the outcome of elections.
Of course.
Since he won one as speaker.
Yeah.
All y'all, like, I don't know why you intentionally harmed your own chances, but could you go back to it? Like, this is stupid. You got now. What's the new thing they're going to be mad about? Same-day voting is illegal. What are all these people showing up at the polls all at once? They must be up to something. Why didn't they vote early like we all did?
That'll be the flip. That sounds about right.
You heard it here. God damn it, we did it again.
That sounds about right.
I created the idea of Speaker Trump. You created a whole bunch of other dangerous shit. Now we just gave Fox News their next 6 months of programming.
There it is.
Fuck. Damn it, Brian.
Yeah, because it's
I'm
his
blaming
fault.
Brian. Well,
the white man.
Blame the white man.
Exactly.
All right. You want to take a break or you want to go right to the TES Talk?
You know what? Because for Brian, we'll go straight into the TES Talk.
All right.
Look at these dead-ass birds.
It's still there. They're still the birds. They're still dying.
Well, one of them's dead, the Twitter bird.
Yeah, the Twitter bird is, yes.
Okay. So I want to tell you about a thing that happens to me, and then I'm going to let you explain why this is the thing. So you know that we're both on the Blue Sky.
Yes.
And I have the Threads. You have the Threads?
I don't have the Threads. I probably do, because I'm not allowed not to, because I had a Facebook years ago, and it's still out there. And I have Instagram. Again, one day I'll write my book. I'm not on Facebook, only Instagram.
Right. It's going to be a great book.
It's going to be a great book.
It's 3 pages.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a great book.
Well, you can read it in the metaverse. So in any case,
with me.
Yeah, right. You can read it to them.
Yeah, exactly. Story time with Tess.
Sometimes, like, somebody will write something on Twitter, and I will respond to it, and, you know, nothing happens. And then I'll see my notifications, and there'll be, like, a bunch of notifications, and I'll click it.
Yeah, of course. It's normal reaction.
You want to see who's, you know, somebody wrote to you, right? And it's like, oh, look at all these people who liked this tweet.
People.
And then I look and see, like, who are these people? You know, maybe I want to talk to them.
Right.
And they're all, like, sex bot fake accounts. They're not real. And I don't know how they found my random, like, screaming about college football on Twitter and then started liking it like crazy. I thought Elon was getting rid of the bots.
No.
What the fuck is going on?
It's hard to, because, like, right now this is a closed company, right? You can't really see into it. I think when I see this, I think it's false engagement, right? Because there used to be actual authentic engagement with certain things on Twitter, now X, whatever the hell it's called.
Twitter.
It's X.
Don't call it that.
Because Twitter, I feel like it's disrespectful to what Twitter was.
Yeah,
this
but we're going to save the X for the next segment.
Yes, but I'm just saying, but in general, like, just you get someone with, again, a natural reaction to see, it happens a little bit different for me, but, like, you see a bunch of, like, notifications, right? That's going to make you open the app. I think they're hoping, right, that you then get back onto the app. You're some people probably go to the sex workers and the sex bots, and you might go to their links, and I think there's a dumb set of people that do that.
Who the fuck is falling?
But I think for everybody else, you're back onto the app, and then you might see something else or engage. Like, that's what I see. I mean,
so they're not cleaning up the bots.
But
they want the bots.
I think after a while, you look and see that the bots are kind of all you have left.
That does seem to be the case.
That's all that's left. And, like, if you can, I guess, finagle or even, like, use the bots to drive engagement to the site, I mean, maybe that works. I don't know. I think this is a lose. I think, how long is this around for? Another 2 years, maybe?
Well, the thing that seems weird to me is that, like, my total amount of engagement per post, you know, because it tracks that. It shows you that, to the extent that that's even real. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Is way down from where it was. And I'm nobody. And the only engagement really I have is from these fake accounts. Like, I used to have a tweet that would go and it would have 1,000 people would engage with it or view it or whatever. And now it's like 6, and none of them are people.
Yeah.
How is this good for the business of Twitter? How does this make money?
I mean, we've been asking this for since 2009, how this thing makes money.
Yeah, but how does it make money for Elon? Like, I don't understand what the end goal here is.
It's a bad bet, man.
It's a $44 billion bad bet.
Yeah, I think I haven't got to him, but I mean, Walter Isaacson's done his biography. I think it's been mentioned in that. Like, again, this is an impulse buy, but, like, on, like, if this don't tell you about, like, just wealth disparity and, like, what people are allowed to do.
You know,
like,
what my impulse buys are? Candy bar.
There you go. Right. This, look.
I got $1.50. All right.
This guy went, $44 billion. I mean, again, I don't know where this ends because the way he made this purchase, like, there's a lot of folks, a lot of Saudis involved with this as well, too, that are going to be looking to be like, all right, what is this?
Where's our money, Jack?
Yeah.
You know?
They're probably asking Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. For him back.
Where's our money, Jack? Not Elon.
Yeah.
Where is the money?
I don't know.
He owes somebody. He didn't have $44 billion.
No, there's a lot of financing that went into this. The banks that supported this doesn't, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Russian banks, Alpha Bank or whatever.
Alpha Bank.
Yeah.
Backed by rubles.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. Maybe the next topic is how he makes money.
So that brings me to the next thing, right? Does this stuff deal with this weird interview? This is the wildest shit. All right, I'm just gonna read it to you. Billionaire, heavy air quotes, billionaire Elon Musk.
Not after this shit fails.
Wants to turn X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, which
is such a quick grab.
I think it sucks that now every journalist has to use that whole phrase every time they use this. They can't say X because nobody knows what the fuck that is. They can't say Twitter because it's officially called X.
Yeah.
So they have to call it X, the site formerly known as Twitter. It's wasting a lot of ink. Whatever.
That's what he wants.
Yes, of course. That he acquired a year ago. He wants to turn it into a dating site as part of his push to transform it into the, quote, everything app. X on Thursday held a company-wide meeting. 7 people now? How many people still work there? To mark the 1-year anniversary of the biggest mistake anybody has ever made.
Right, exactly.
$44 billion acquisition by the Musk-led investor group, at which Musk said that it will become, quote, a fully fledged dating site in 2024. This isn't the first time that Musk has flirted, with the idea of adding a dating app functionality to the X platform. In May, Musk responded to a user's pitch for dating functionality on Twinder,
Oh, God.
saying it's an interesting idea, maybe jobs too. All right, so if he's going to turn Twitter into a dating app, which already is wildly suspect, isn't there already like a right-wing dating app? There's several of them, right? Only Farmers or whatever.
Only Farmers?
Yeah.
That is a good one. That's so good. That's really good.
Like, if that's the case, like, does that tie into the sex bots?
Oh, because my God.
It's been a million years since I've looked at a dating app because I've been married for a really long time at this point. But and it was back in the early 2000s, so this is like the internet didn't really work then.
App. What do you mean
website,
app?
Whatever.
An app, you say.
It occurred to me within seconds of looking at one of these things that none of the potential matches they showed you were real people. There's no reason they needed them, right? They could just make a bunch of fake profiles and get people to pay to access them or email them or whatever it was at the time, and make money, and nobody ever had to actually go on a date. They would get the subscriptions and off the. In fact, I think there was a story about that with the Ashley Madison thing.
Yes.
That before you were here and Larry and I covered that. Like, who actually thought any of the people on Ashley Madison were real? And if they were, who thought that this was going to not end up in either a blackmail or a lawsuit? So, like, fucking idiots. So like, if all of my likes are from fake sex accounts, sex bots, why would anybody go on Twinder and expect it to actually yield results?
It doesn't. He is throwing as much shit at the wall and hoping, like it's like weird. He's throwing shit at the wall and not even like hoping that it sticks. He's like hoping that it doesn't stink, but it's shit. And it's not. It's gonna stink.
It's not spaghetti. It's shit.
It's shit, and it's gonna stink. And like,
have you ever used a dating app? I mean, you've been married a long time too, so like, it's not.
I mean, also too, just the whole concept of that. Like, I met my partner out in like real life. Like, yeah, which I thought like that's
like my brother got married to somebody he met on Tinder.
And you know what? Let me not.
But that was a while ago.
And let me not yuck other people's. I understand. Like, things are different. I don't know. Everybody
I shop online. I don't see why I
don't know if
do that.
That's the same as shopping.
It appears to be the same.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand that some folks maybe are. I find myself as an
Brian's
extrovert.
a single guy, right? Brian, you still single? I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm still single.
Okay, so Brian, do you use the apps?
No, I haven't used the apps in years.
So you are also a real life person.
Yep, I'm human
because
as they can be.
Because again, I mean, but I understand that, like, that's not for everyone. And the eHarmony commercials, they're always talking about, they see the music, they play a little saxophone and everybody's dancing and shit. So I don't know, maybe if that, I don't know. But this is on Twitter?
What is it?
Which
you know
X?
what Twitter is for? Like, okay, earlier last week, I had a conversation on Twitter with a brilliant musician, Jake Blunt, who we're trying to get him on the show. He had that album I think I sent you that you should listen to about being it's like a Afrofuturist climate refugee album. Brilliant stuff, right? And we talked about Israel on Twitter in a respectful, intelligent, and nuanced way.
Oh my God, like it's 2010.
And at the end, I was like, thank you for this conversation. I really didn't expect to find this still on this app. And he's like, I got a Blue Sky invite if you want. And I was like, I'm already there. But
see you there.
Yeah. But like, that was a glimpse of what it used to be.
That shit's dead.
But most of what Twitter is just people yelling either at nobody into the void or at each other.
Bunch of people who need journals. Bunch of people who need civil discourse training.
But why? What screams dating app out of that? I mean, they're screaming, but it doesn't scream dating app.
No.
It screams like, no, you're a racist. Like,
so?
Yes, and?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to get dinner? Like,
maybe.
We can go to a all-white establishment. It's called Cracker Barrel. Like, I don't know what. And then do the.
What soup are you having? Clan chowder.
Yes. Then does like Cracker Barrel start sponsoring, dates between people on Twitter so they can get the likes or the ad revenue? Like,
maybe.
What is this going to turn into?
I just hope it just fails. I mean, it will eventually.
It will fail.
It's going to fail.
A bunch of people are going to try to go out on dates with bots that don't exist.
And something is going to be, I don't know what's after this? Like, that's where I'm kind of like.
You keep asking.
Because I don't know what it is. And we won't know.
You're supposed to be the one that always knows.
We won't know this. It'll just kind of happen. Because, like, when MySpace, when Fox bought MySpace, it's like, we're like, oh, damn. But folks had already kind of moved to
like,
Facebook.
Why?
But we're like, what? Like, and again, something will happen after this. Like, I don't know what that's going to be, but it won't be a successful date for any of you using this platform.
What about Twitter makes anybody think that that's a good place for a date?
I don't know. Pete, maybe I don't want to yuck your yum. Maybe you're into some different shit.
Yeah, I want to go on a date with somebody who's furious about the most obscure shit you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
A lot of the micronations, we had Her Majesty on, and we talked to her about that. I follow them. Sometimes they have whole wars on Twitter. Whole wars. They declare war on each other. They fight. They have rules and ritualistic battles and all this.
Like Magic the Gathering, like that was.
Yeah, it happens in real time and you can watch it. That's a dating app. Micronation dating.
Hey, better than what do you call it? Only farmers.
Only farmers.
Only farmers.
Isn't that a real one?
There's some shit. There is like some.
There's a farmer one, isn't there? Brian, what's the farmer dating app called? There's a one about farmers.
There is something. I do think.
I saw an ad for it on Real TV.
God, your ad. Oh, Real TV. Okay, I was like,
it was on TV, and I don't know what game I was watching, but it came on, and it was like, "Are you looking for somebody?" It had a bunch of people on tractors, and it was like only farmers, and I was like, "How do you know they're only farmers? Couldn't anybody lie and say they were a farmer just to get on the dating app if they were into farmers?" Are you into farmers?
So
trying to get raked?
Well, there's there's one called Meet Single Farmers.
No, there's another one. Yeah. It had a better name.
Yeah.
Farmers Only.
Yeah, you need to go.
No, it's out there. It's already there.
Scoop up that domain now.
It's a farmer thing.
Yeah.
Wait, here we go. The 10 best farming dating sites.
There's 10.
So let's see.
Husk something. There's got to be a corn something in there.
Something about corn.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Cornhole.com.
Oh, no!
Well, let's see. Well, actually, pretty much they talk about.
Hayloft.
Oh, okay. Wait, maybe I'm looking. I hope I'm looking right.
Brian, just
okay. So we have farmer singles.
Okay.
I see farmers. That's about it. Yeah, farmers only. Yeah, farmers only.
There it is.
Yep.
I knew I saw that.
Yeah. So, and then there's one for senior farmers.
Oh, good.
And that's about it. So yeah.
All
but there is farmers only.
There you
Farmers
go.
only. There you go.
I knew I wasn't crazy. This is what happens when you watch West Coast basketball.
Yeah, you're
It's
late,
on at like
late,
insane
yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Oh, look, man, look. Find your real hoe.
I don't know what you're doing in that grain elevator,
Look,
but
I don't know.
hey, wherever you stick that corn cob is up to you.
Oh my God, yo!
I'll eat Mitch McConnell.
Like corn on the cob. I'm ready.
All right.
I find you attractive. I want you to ride my tractor.
Well, there's that Kenny Chesney song. She thinks my tractor's sexy. You don't know that song?
No, I mean that makes sense.
That's a great song.
Tractor probably costs more than that's probably the most expensive vehicle. That's a.
I don't know how you don't know this song, but this was a huge hit. I'm gonna send you the YouTube video of it.
Okay.
It's quite a song, and it was this was a mainstream country radio hit. Yeah, she thinks my tractor's sexy. That's the name of the song.
I can just I hear this song in my head.
The chorus is, she thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along. That's the actual line.
The video he's driving this along the
you'll
road.
see it.
Okay,
There's
everything
a lot
I
of
expect.
imagery involved,
Okay.
but you'll get the idea. It's something about plowing up the land, and it's
Oh,
all there.
whoa,
It's
salacious.
It is all there.
Oh, my.
It is everything you want it to be.
God.
All right. Speaking of tractors and plowing, you want to get right into Brian's porn corner?
Because he yawned.
He's yawning. That's how boring our show is. Our own producer's yawning at us.
Yo!
All right, Brian.
Yawning. Yes.
All right, the first part, we found out Brian's side gig. Did you know that he had a side gig?
Thought it was this?
Yeah, it's in Florida.
Whoa, or not.
Yep, or not. Here's the actual story. After warning the public about a driver impersonating law enforcement under the, quote, Booty Patrol moniker.
Oh, man.
The driver and vehicle have both been located by the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office. A traffic stop was conducted on Sunday, and the driver was given a citation regarding Florida state statute, blah, 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 which pertains to certain lights prohibited. But they had painted a white Chevy Silverado to look like the Border Patrol.
I was going to say, that looks very...
And substituted the word booty for Border Patrol. Yeah.
Okay.
So initially, the cops put out like an APB. They're like, "Hey, look out for this guy," and then it turns out they found him because, of course, he's driving around in a giant white truck that says Booty Patrol.
Yeah.
We want to emphasize that DCSO located the vehicle on Sunday, and our initial post aimed to raise awareness about this incident, ensuring that the public can avoid being duped by such individuals. So what he was doing was he was riding around, flashing lights, and pulling people over with his Booty Patrol truck and asking, for dates. So, Brian, where were you for the last week or so, and were you in DeSoto County, Florida?
Well, actually, initially I started out in southern Texas.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where
all the booty was.
Yeah, that was mostly where all the booty was, especially that Mexican booty.
Right.
And,
then you would say it immigrated to Florida?
Yeah. So it's a weird story because if initially when I was looking for some of these pictures, I did find out
of the truck,
not the booty. That's on Farmers Only. Anyway,
yes.
It started out in Texas.
Corn-fed booty.
Pretty much it's like the southern, mostly the southern states. He just ended up out in Florida by the time he got caught. So he's been doing this for a while.
Oh, he's crossed.
He's done this for a while.
Making his way across the Bible Belt.
Yeah, looking for booty. He's out there doing the Booty Patrol.
Maybe he's a pirate.
He's a booty pirate.
Yeah.
He's looking for booty.
Yeah, exactly.
Pirate looking for booty.
There it is. Simple. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it's Little Richard's long-lost nephew. because the original line was Tutti Frutti, good booty.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, put it on a truck, off you go. Booty Patrol. Okay. Speaking of which, across the South, back to MAGA Mike Johnson.
He's made it twice into the show.
Yep. For a guy named Johnson, he sure loves Richards.
Oh.
The new Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson, elected on last Wednesday by his GOP colleagues after a weeks-long stalemate. Last year, vowed to promote anti-porn, anti-LGBTQ+, and anti-sex education legislation if he was ever given the authority. Last October, Fox News' Peter Kasperowitz, sounds foreign, interviewed Johnson, an evangelical conservative who refused to certify the results of the 2020 election. Sounds foreign. To help him promote his, quote, Stop the Sexualization of Children Act, the SSCA. Doesn't sound weird. No. According to the reporter, the bill aimed to, quote, prevent taxpayers from funding events they say expose kids to sexualized themes and, quote, radical gender theory programs at young ages. During the interview, Johnson, an evangelical conservative who refused to certify the election, which they printed twice in this story.
Hey, I love it.
Told Fox News, quote, the Democrat Party, not the name of the party, and their cultural allies are on a misguided crusade to immerse young children in sexual imagery and radical gender ideology. This common sense bill is straightforward. No federal tax dollars should go to any federal, state, or local government agencies or private organizations that intentionally expose children under 10 years of age to sexually explicit material.
Where is this happening?
Well, it's not.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Under 10.
Yeah, he's okay with over that? That's so weird.
Mike, what's up with where'd you get this line from?
Weird whistle.
Yeah, it's a weird line.
It's a weird whistle.
I wonder why he was very specific about that age. It does seem strange. Matt Gaetz might know. According to Johnson's proposal, quote, state and local library systems, museums, and other educational institutions that receive federal grants have purchased sexually oriented literature and materials that target pre-adolescent children.
The materials that target. This is a funny comment.
Pre-adolescent children that target pre-adolescent children and teach them about concepts like masturbation, pornography, sexual acts, and Mike,
is this something you want to tell us?
It does feel like there is something he needs to say. Brian, you're the one that knows all about, or who included this story, I guess. What is going on here with MAGA Mike?
Based off of the picture we've been posting most of this night, he seems like a guy who has never gotten any. And
I'd agree with that.
Does he have kids?
I believe so. But
did he buy them?
Probably.
No, he is from Louisiana.
Yeah.
They've been buying kids a long time.
Yeah. Long history of that.
Long history of that.
Yeah. Up the river, down the river, all kinds of selling
shit.
people every which way.
Trying to tell you.
So,
what color are his kids?
I have no idea.
That would be very telling.
That was crazy.
But I when I saw this story and then he gets named speaker, it was kind of fitting. This is like, yeah, okay, here comes another person, another Republican person coming in and preaching, they want to ban porn, they want to ban, the rainbow community, they want to do, or the alphabet, or whatever we want to call them. It's just getting ridiculous. It's like, again, you don't want to govern. You don't want to do anything else except whatever your own personal feelings about certain individuals or certain, communities that you feel that should be buried and buried again with whatever bullshit you want to give them. So I just feel like it should be pointed out there. It's like, look, this is your Speaker of the House. He's just another, simpleton who doesn't give a shit about what type of proper sexual education you want to give to your children. Because in addition to the fact it's like he's probably that same guy who pretty much his parents told him it's like, not to talk about sex until you're 21, and you still don't understand what it means anyway.
He's very sure the stork brought him.
Yeah, so, yeah, literally. And it's a southern stork, too.
Of course it was. It's a stork.
Yes. So, from the Booty Patrol. Anyway.
Jesus. Oh, my.
The whole point is I felt like when I read it and saw, read the story, mind you, as everyone knows here on Beltway Radio and beyond, I'm a porn advocate. I feel like I know the difference between reality and fantasy from it. There are people in the industry who would like, even though they don't want to fully admit that what they do is sex education, but sadly enough, a lot of people get their information from that. It's because no one outside of it, meaning, parents, teachers, don't talk about that stuff and talk about it properly.
So then that's like a big problem, right?
Yeah, it's a big problem. And you got guys like him constantly, they'll pop up, even though you don't hear about it a lot, but they'll constantly want to try to ban this. And it's kind of like, dude, do you have anything else to worry about? You got, dealing with poverty in your street, especially in Louisiana. There's a list full of shit that Louisiana's going through.
It's underwater.
And you
pretty much... The river is flowing backwards.
Yeah, and one of your main priorities is to ban porn. Really?
Well, I heard some of those girls in the porn movies get awfully wet. Maybe they could find a way to get the river to flow the other direction.
Yes.
Again, I don't know. It is... So, like, the lack of sexual education in states tends to also track the teen pregnancy rate.
Yeah.
So if you don't have sex ed in school, you have high teen pregnancy. You have high level of unplanned pregnancies. Like, it's so obvious, right? Like, what are they talking about here?
They're talking about nothing. They have no plan. They really don't. They want to ban something.
What are the odds that somebody is going to find, like, massive numbers of gigabytes of porn on Mike Johnson's computers?
I hope it's the right kind of porn.
The very, very straight
porn. Well, actually,
porn.
reminds you he does
just
like...
saying, he said 10 and over.
Yeah, and...
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Also, shout out to those like, very brave, and I gotta say, maybe a little bit, like, crazy law enforcement officers who investigate that thing.
Oh, the CSAM shit? That shit is insane.
Yo,
I don't know.
You are a special breed of people, and my heart goes out to you because, thanks for protecting the rest of us. But, like, yo, that is some fucked up shit. Because, like, even reviewing the evidence is...
What? Like, yeah.
Nah, man.
Fuck that.
Nah,
Poor
man.
choice of words right there, but...
Jesus
Christ.
Nah.
But no.
Nah.
That is it. Yeah, insane profession.
Yeah, that is
Again,
not,
thank you for what you do.
That is not a job I'm willing...
What?
100% chance Mike Johnson's got... The 10 thing is awfully specific.
That's so weird. I don't know.
Why did he say that?
That is so weird. I
think because normally being
10
in the
is
in the 5th grade, it is pretty much... that's when I learned sex ed. We're around the 5th grade.
Yeah, we had it in 4th grade.
We're roughly around between the ages of 9 and 10, mainly 10. You get to learn about sex education. So I believe, for whatever reason, he got, he felt it was icky, during that time frame. I don't know. So, and it stuck with him.
I mean, I was fortunate that I grew up in a county that actually did teach this stuff. I successfully only had children when I meant to. So obviously it works. How about you?
Same.
Yeah. Turns out, Brian, how many kids you got?
None.
Right. How many did you mean to have?
None.
Right. So
there you go.
Everybody's obviously it's working. Go read, kids. All right. You ready for some news?
Yeah.
All right. News. Bobby Knight died. Hooray! No, not hooray.
Damn.
What? He was really old and he was a racist and he threw chairs at people.
He did. That's all real thing.
So it's fine. Hooray, Bobby Knight's dead. Speaking of the Big Ten.
There you go.
My team has been under a vicious attack.
Huh?
By a bunch of people with unfounded and completely unproved allegations.
Isn't the FBI investigating?
No. What's actually happening is Michigan gave Jim Harbaugh a new contract extension after everybody was saying that they rescinded it. They did not rescind it. They were putting more money in it or whatever. The allegations are that when I say we, Michigan, we're stealing signs. And to be clear, when I first heard this story, that they were like, oh, did you hear about the sign stealing in Michigan? I was like, yeah, we do it all the time. I've got one in my basement. Because one of the sort of traditions in Ann Arbor is to steal the Michigan M's off the big house and keep them, for yourself. I've got one in my basement. I was like, what's the big deal? And they're like, no, idiot. They're stealing signs from the other team. I was like, yeah, I do that all the time. Every Saturday I watch and I go, oh, look, I've seen them do that twice. That obviously means they're going to blitz. What's the problem here? The allegations are that a guy named Connor Stallions, who was some volunteer and then low-ranking employee in the football program, was buying tickets for other people to go to games, which not against the rules. The NCAA bans scouting of other teams in person, mostly so that the big schools who could afford to scout everybody don't have some advantage over the little schools who can't afford to scout everybody.
Right.
And it specifically bans the video recording of all this stuff. There's no evidence that anything got actually recorded. There's no evidence that it got transmitted to the university. And there's no evidence about any of this stuff. What there is actual proof of is that the LLC that supposedly forwarded this information to the NCAA, which was forced to initiate the investigation because they received a complaint, doesn't matter how unfounded it is, that LLC and private investigator firm is Ryan Day's brother. And he is the coach of Ohio State. And it was initiated 2 weeks after a call of all the Big Ten head coaches in which Ohio lost their ever-loving minds over the fact that we beat them twice in a row. It's not real.
Okay.
It's not happening. Then they've got this fake story about Stallion somehow infiltrated a directional Michigan sideline with camera glasses and was walking around pretending to be a coach. Like they wouldn't notice some rando guy with fake credentials and recording things against who? This is ridiculous. If you want good reporting on this, go look at Sports Illustrated. I want to be clear about it. I'm not picking some Homer, M Live kind of, Detroit Free Press. No. Go look at Sports Illustrated. They're covering this, and they'll tell you what is known and what is not known and what is utterly irrelevant. It's not happening, guys. I know you want to bury us. I know you're mad that we won the conference twice in a row. It's one of those things. You get to the mountaintop and everybody wants to pull you down.
When did you guys win the national championship?
We haven't.
There's no mountaintop you've been at. What are you talking about?
We couldn't steal TCU signs. I mean, we just couldn't win that game.
There you go. There it is.
It's just the dumbest thing in the world. All this stuff is on TV and on YouTube for everybody to look at. There's no way you're going to hide any of these signs. Just be done with this. This is stupid. They couldn't get us for a cheeseburger. Now they're watching us on the sidelines. Right. You're right across from us. We've seen you. You did that little dance, and then they blitzed. That dance means blitz. Got it. Okay. No trash cans.
Go blue.
They lost. Yeah, right. Okay. Hooray. Slava Ukraine. All right.
Exactly. Remember we used to talk about that?
Yeah. Remember when you predicted that nobody would talk about it? Remember when you predicted nobody would talk about Afghanistan?
That's the other one.
You're batting 1,000.
I did not say. The other one I said.
Stop this shit.
The other one I said. Israel, I said we will continue on that one. I said
keep batting 1,000.
I really don't like that. I know. I
don't like how often you're right. Not just because of the actual way the world goes, because of that. It's really tragic and terrible. I also don't like having to admit that you're always right about all this stuff.
A person fell off a plane in the air, and we stopped talking about that in 3-4 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Still something that plays in my mind.
We all saw it happen. But then Matt Gaetz got mad at Kevin McCarthy, and nobody remembered.
Yeah.
All right. Follow up from last week. You weren't here.
I was not.
But your favorite guest was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Impulse was here.
He has a project with my good buddy Grussel.
There you go.
Yeah.
You wanna read the headline here, or the first bit of this story?
Hold on, wait, because now I see this picture.
Yeah, he was arrested.
Yeah,
and we talked to him 2 days before his trial.
Oh wow! Oh God! Okay.
His trial was November 1st, or no? We talked to him a few days before his trial.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry. Because now I'm trying to just digest what is happening.
You didn't listen to last week's show.
I didn't get a chance to listen to last week's show. Wait, hold on. That's insane. Now I'm definitely on the plane tomorrow listening to that.
So go ahead and read the story.
Over the objections of the prosecutor, a judge dismissed the criminal charge November 1st against a Leesburg man accused of threatening to burn down the Oatlands plantation house.
Yep.
Write it down. Well, is it an actual plant? Like where you
it's
said?
An actual plantation.
Okay, cool. You're not mad at that. Loudoun General District Judge William R. Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, ruled that there wasn't enough evidence that Derek Summers planned to burn down the mansion at Oatlands Historic House and Gardens, south of Leesburg. I love how they add that. Gardens. It went from the plantation to the historic house and gardens. That's how you
what
clean
it's called.
That up.
Yep.
Summers is admitted to posting Oatlands Burn on his Facebook page on August 28th, along with a photo of the mansion. Summers, who raps under the name Impulse, said he went to Oatlands on August 27th to shoot footage for a video now on his Facebook page.
Which he did, and we premiered the video live on our show last week.
All right, there we go. Chip Chat Bump, as you like to say. After being arrested on September 1st and charged with making a threat to bomb or burn, Summers told the police and said on his Facebook page that the, quote, burn Oatlands burn, end quote, remark was a reference to Burn Hollywood Burn, 1990 song by Public Enemy. Condemns the film industry's long history of racist caricatures of black people and included archival footage of derogatory images.
So basically...
Oh, bigger point. The Oatlands plantation enslaved 133 people before the Civil War.
Yes. So
most important.
So Impulse went to this place where people have weddings and events and
That's what we do
and,
with plantations.
You know, right, yeah. And they play at owning people and, you know, antebellum, whatever. And he took a bunch of pictures of it and filmed his video there. And on the way out, discovered that there was a sign that said, like, this is the price of admission. And he's like, oh, I guess I didn't pay to get in here. When he got arrested, he was like, oh, is this about, like, I didn't pay? You want to just hit me with a trespass and, like, call it a day? They were like, no.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah, we think you're threatening this place. Mm. And he's like, cool. So when
Black man threatened the plantation.
I mean,
don't like
officially, as we had on our show last week, he explained he was making art.
Yeah.
And he is protected by the First Amendment to make such art. He expressed himself. So, like, he explained us the details of the case. And I was like, look, I'm not a lawyer, but this is the most patently ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life here. You filmed a place that's open to the public and you criticized slavery.
Even the fact of playing off the Public Enemy, like, that alone shows that it's art. Like,
obviously, like, related to the, you know,
like,
it's a hip-hop song. And so the song is out there. Go check it out. It's called The Skull of Skeletons. And it's a very good song. And it hits on a lot of cylinders. And it's a good video, too. Go check it out. Go watch last week's episode of Chip Chat. You can see it. And you can hear him explain the story. It just seems crazy. So we told him, like, we'll follow the story. So it did pop up.
Yeah.
He beat the charge. Of course he beat the charge.
Of course.
This is dumb. And congratulations, Impulse. We think you're you're doing God's work by reminding people that slavery is bad. It does not seem like it's a hard choice.
What are we talking about? Like, the fuck?
Well, you know,
I mean, it's the home of the fucking
We don't want the Youngkin administration to be uncomfortable. They don't want their history to make the white kids feel bad about,
boo-hoo,
enslaving 133 people. and their children.
Yeah.
Speaking of slavery, George Santos.
This idiot.
He's definitely engaged in some slavery. Don't know which kind. So here's what happened. The other Republicans from New York, of which there are 6 or 7, were like, hey, this guy's bad for our brand. We got to get him out of here. So they proposed a resolution to expel him from the House.
Right.
He has not been convicted of anything. The Ethics Committee hasn't found him guilty of anything.
No.
And his voters haven't removed him from anywhere. So they held a vote. He beat the vote.
Beat the charge.
Yep, it went 179 in favor of expulsion and 213 against. There were 30 some odd Democrats who voted, 31 Democrats who voted to withhold punishment.
Right.
Voted with the majority of the Republicans to not expel him. Okay. As friend of the show, Joe Walsh, former Congressman Joe Walsh of Illinois, likes to say, this is entirely right. As also friend of the show, Jamie Raskin, constitutional professor and congressman from this part of Maryland, likes to say that this is really up to the voters. He hasn't been convicted of anything. There's no reason to expel him prematurely. It would set a terrible precedent if this kind of thing happened.
He got voted in.
He got voted in. He hasn't been convicted of anything. There have been 5 expulsions in history, 3 of which were people who were Confederates and therefore had to be expelled, and 2 of which were convicted of things. Otherwise, no. This is fine.
Yeah.
This is the right outcome. That's not the story that we want to talk about. What we want to talk about is what he tweeted in the aftermath of beating this vote. Okay. Now, you would think that somebody after surviving this
might not say anything.
Would be
thankful.
Would be conspicuously quiet, right? Take your lumps and get out of there and just live to legislate another day, or in his case, hang out.
I was going to say
credit union, which he did for a good 26 hours. That's true. Go look it up. But instead, that's not what he did. What he did do was he posted a tweet of him in a crown with some odd language. Let's see if we can put it up. There you go. I think this is from a TV show. Is that from a TV show?
Yeah, but isn't that whole thing? Yeah, if you come for the king, you better not miss. I think.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he posted this, which is a picture of him with his fingers folded and wearing a crown. It says, "If you come for me, you best not miss." And it says, "Tonight was a victory for due process, not me. It was never about me. I'll never let it become about me." This guy, how many times?
It's all about me.
Yeah.
How many times can I say me?
And he posted this picture where it looks like he's king of the House of Representatives. What happened to this tweet shortly after?
What did they? Did it get? It didn't get pulled down,
or he deleted it.
He did delete
and then
it.
Replaced it with just the text.
Just the text.
Took the photo away from it. Yeah. Jasmine Crockett was
leave
all
it up.
Congresswoman Crockett had a good time with this one.
Like, leave the shit up at that point.
Come on, George. Yeah. Where's all the disabled puppies he stole from?
He's going to get convicted of crimes.
So, like a lot, he climbed a lot, right?
Happen.
So a lot of people were like, well, why did all these Democrats vote to keep him out? It's like, he's great. It's like, let's tag everybody with this guy. Every time any Republican is running for anything, put a picture of them next to Santos and be like, do you want to vote for this guy who stood for Santos and defended him or whatever? Like, yeah, of course you want that in office. It's good for all of us. Plus, it's great for comedy radio. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, it's been working for us.
Vote George Santos.
No.
All right.
No.
Keep him around. He's great for us. All right, you hear that music, which means, we've come to the end of the show. We want to say thank you to all the listeners who stuck with us. Thank you especially to Brian and his porn expertise. Thanks to our radio partners, Spotify, iTunes, the Library of Congress, George Santos, all those guys.
We ended early today.
Yep. Right. Thanks to NOTM for keeping us on for another week, although they might be in Mike Johnson's district. I'm not really sure. Thanks to our digital media meatball, Isaac Elam, and thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway Radio for making it sound as smooth as Mike Pence's campaign. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials?
You can find me on that dating app, X, at DC Cortez. You can find me on Instagram at Ketchum Cordy, and you can find me on Blue Sky, as being a flaming liberal at DC Cortez.
All right, you can find me and the show on Twitter at ChipChatR. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat. And you can, of course, find us every Thursday night here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm Chip, that's Tez, that's Brian. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and Beyond.
Sweeps!